Well, it was November 2011. Christopher and some friends went rollerblading, and he came home and he was complaining of a sore leg. And we really didn't think anything of it because he hadn't been rollerblading in a while. We thought we needed to investigate it a little further. And that's when we saw the orthopedics. And when they x-rayed it, he seemed very concerned immediately. And in fact, he had scheduled us to go to Geisinger on the spot. For me, it was overwhelming. I mean, at first, because the hospital was large, and we just didn't know what to expect. The diagnosis was osteosarcoma, which is a rare bone cancer that was in his left, basically his left femur, and just above the knee. And at that point, they prepared us for a long process. He said it was going to take a long time, and we ended up actually camping there, the two of us, with him each night that he had procedure after procedure.
His treatment first entailed a biopsy of the tumor to show that it was an osteosarcoma, a bone cancer, a malignant tumor of bone. And then it also included imaging of other parts of his body, of his chest and elsewhere, to make sure that the tumor had not metastasized. And then, following that evaluation, he was treated first with chemotherapy for about 3 months. And then he had surgery to remove the tumor from his leg, and then additional chemotherapy afterwards.
After the treatments went on, Dr. Ramdas and the other doctors concurred that the chemotherapy wasn't shrinking the tumor like they had hoped. They were concerned that it could be in the lymph nodes, so we had a hard decision to make at that point. Should we, I mean, they could operate, they could put a rod in, they could do an amputation. So we had a very hard decision to make. We talked about it, we prayed about it, we listened to the doctors, and we felt that we wanted the best chances to get rid of the disease with the amputation.
So he chose an operation that's really quite uncommon in the United States. He chose an operation called a rotationplasty. That's where we remove a segment of the bone and a segment of tissue in the thigh, and then use the remainder leg, the tibia, the lower leg bone, to reconstruct the upper leg. So it has its advantages, and I think he saw that and his family saw that as a way that's right for them, and that's exciting.
All the times that were bad, Chris never complained. He rarely ever would complain about anything. He knew what he had to do, and he would do it. So he never really, he always kept us going, because he just wouldn't get down, and that he just kept everybody going.
And so it's a person who says, in my life, I want one operation that's likely to work, that'll grow, and that will work for the remainder of my years, in anticipation of surviving the cancer and living many years into the future. So I think that if you look at patients in the United States who choose rotationplasty, they're special people. They're people who value function over cosmetics. They're people that tells you something about who they are. And I think Chris is a really special kid. I mean, he's a child who has values that are unique, and experiences that are unique. And I really feel like he is set apart for something special. I can't wait to see what he does in the years to come.
People will come up to us and say, I have just found out I have cancer, but I think about Chris and he's inspiring me to do what I have to do to win this battle, because he's my inspiration. I mean, people have even stopped him and said that to him, not even just to us, but I can't count the number of people that have told me, but they've even stopped him and said, you've been our inspiration because of everything you've done and the way you handled yourself throughout it. So he's inspired a lot of people.